Good morning, everyone. It's Mr. Vega. I just want to make a quick video here to show you how you can use your CASIO calculator to come up with your answers for mean, median, and mode fairly quickly. And if you'll notice, there's the example I have in the notes for 11.2 that's in your packet. And they gave us a example here for using the standard method for calculating mean or average, if you will. And they gave you the same four numbers. They said calculate the mean. You can see from there that if you were to take those four numbers, add them up, and then divide by 4, which is the number of scores you have to add, you'll get something that looks like this. And if you hit FD, that'll give you the decimal that you saw here in this example. Okay, so that's one way. Another way would be to go to your menu. Instead of doing the run matrix menu, go to your stats menu. So this is number 2 on your calculator. So you can click number 2 and you'll notice that opens up a list for you. So what you can do now is you can take those same numbers. It was 79, hit enter, and then 86 and enter. And you'll notice that it goes down the first column here. Here's 82, here's 94, and that's the end of your list. So what you want to do is take those four numbers and we want to calculate. So notice right here it says calc. You want to click F2. And then we only have one variable that we're listing here in that first column. So we're going to do one variable, which is F1. And right away it's calculating the mean for me. So if you can't read the notation on there, this symbol right here where it's got an X with a hat on it, or a line on top, that is your symbol for mean or average. So right here you can see 85.25 is the answer, which is also the same answer we got when we did it the standard way. Okay, so it's really quick and easy. You can use your stats button to get to that menu again. And again, if you have any other numbers that you want to calculate, you can quickly do that. All right, so here is the other example. If you'll notice, it's asking us to calculate the mean or the average for the high temperatures, which are the ones here in red. And we already know the answer over here, but I want to make sure that you get a chance to practice with your calculator. So if you have your calculator, go ahead and pause this video and see if you can enter in those numbers into the list and come up with a mean. And I'll pause just for a moment. Okay, if you have the other numbers that are in your calculator and you just want to type over them, you can do that. You don't have to clear them. You can just say the first number is going to be my 114. So on your calculator, 114, hit enter. 113, 111, 109, 106, 102, and it looks like there's another 102. 02. There we go. And I believe those were the only ones that they gave to us. So once you have those in there, there's 7 days. Again, if you want to calculate, hit calc, which is F2, one variable, and there's our answer. So if you got the correct answer, congratulations. Okay, so let's take a look at the next thing, which is median. As you can see, they're giving us a little idea of what mean is. If you have the average is kind of like the balancing of the scale. So the average is going to be right over here, whereas the bulk of your data could be on this side, and you might have some outliers over here. But because the average is going to take that in consideration, it's going to balance all that out to be the average. And if you have a really large outlier, again, you're going to have kind of a bulk of the data on this side. So most of the average is going to be closer to the bulk of your data, whereas that outlier may be way off to the side or high or low, but the average is going to be closer to most of the data. So that's all this is kind of giving you an idea. And so with median wants to know where the middle number is. So we really don't care about the outliers at that point. Now we're just looking at what is your middle number. Okay, and so on the standard traditional way of doing this is you would take all of your numbers, you would have to put them into order. So that's what this is. And so all that data gets reorganized, and then you're going to find the middle number. As long as your number is odd, it's pretty easy to do it. But if you have even numbers, then you have to take the mean of the middle two numbers. And again, that's covered in the Math Antics video. What I'm going to show you is just how to do this with the calculator. So in the calculator, you could use this list again. And you can actually, I think, go up to the top of the list. I think you can hit clear here. You can kind of hit delete and delete the whole set if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think that's a TI feature. You go to the top and you can hit clear and then it will clear the list for you. On this one, I think we have to hit F6. Oh, there it is. So if you see delete all, it's going to be F4. And then it's going to ask me, do I want to delete all? Hit yes, and there's your cleared list. Okay, so then pause for a moment. I just want you to enter in that list, and then I'll take you from there. So I'm just going to give you a moment while I add those in. Okay, I've entered in my last numbers, so there should be 31 numbers according to this list, because it was 31 teams in the National Football League of the 20,000 season, or 2000 season. So number of touchdowns is what we just input. And now what I want to do is I want to come up with the median, which is different than the average or the mean. So I'm going to hit, oh, my tools at the bottom is missing here. So if that happens, go to F6 again. Now we have what we want. I want calculate, hit F2, and then one variable one more time. And then as you can see, here's the mean, there's the average, except we don't want that. We want the median. So if I just scroll down the list, use your arrow keys, right there, you're going to see median, and notice it says it's 20. So there's your middle number, and I didn't have to put them in order and try to find the middle myself. It's kind of nice that the calculator does that for you. All right, here's a simple data set I'd like you to try. Go ahead and see if you can find the median. Enter in your numbers into the calculator and let's double check. So feel free to pause the video and try this on your own. Okay, now as you can see, the median number should have been 16.5. And again, if you're doing this the old-fashioned way, you're going to have to reorder these so that they are from smallest to largest. But if you're using the CASIO calculator, that's not necessary. You can just go ahead and type in all the numbers. And again, if I'm using this tool and I don't see the calculate, hit F6, take you back to the menu I want, and then hit calculate, and then one variable. Once again, here's my median, or I'm sorry, the mean, that's the average, and the median is going to be further down the list, which is at 16.5. So here, the average is 16.2, your median is 16.5, so they're not far off from each other, which makes sense because the bulk of the data is kind of in that area, okay? So if you've got median, I think we're good. Next up will be mode, and I think that's what's on this page. Mode is probably the easiest one to identify since mode is just your most frequent number. And by the way, on the last data set that we had earlier, if you go back to the one we just did, your calculator also calculates mode. It puts it in there as MOD, so it doesn't say MODE, it says mod. But your calculator also gives you the mode. So it does average or mean on the front here. That's that first thing that shows up. So if you're looking at that symbol, there's your mean again. And if you just scroll down the list, it'll do median and it will also give you mode. Now notice this one has two modes because there's actually, I'm sorry, three modes. There's three digits that show up the same amount of time. So in that last example, you can see that when they put them in order, 18 and 18 shows up twice, 17 and 17 shows up twice, 15 and 15 show up twice. So because they show up the same amount of times, this actually has three mode numbers. They show up the equal amount of times. All right, I hope this video helps, and good luck. We'll see you tomorrow.